In Activity 7, Seasons, students define season and name the 4 seasons. They then discuss and illustrate weather in each season and conclude that the changing seasons form a predictable pattern. You will need the following materials from the kit. Activity Sheet 7, the laminated U.S. outline map, masking tape, and colored markers. You will also need to provide crayons or colored pencils, chart paper or poster board, and a weather calendar from Activity 1. To prepare for the activity, make 2 copies of Activity Sheet 7 for each student. Set up a My Favorite Season chart for the class. Divide the chart into a 4-square grid and draw arrows clockwise so the arrows point in a circle. Then, write the name of one season inside each square, in order of the arrows. Add a simple picture or symbol in each square to help students identify the seasons. Leave some space for recording data in each square. Post the chart where students can write on it. Have available the class calendar sheets on which you have been recording daily weather. To begin the activity, explain that a season is a part of the year. Lead a discussion about the current season. Most students will know what season it is because of the calendar month, the weather, their activities, and any upcoming holidays. Ask students, how many seasons are there in a year? Most students will know there are 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Now ask, how is one season different from another? Students may list seasonal sports or school versus vacation months. Ask students, what do you notice about the weather in each season? They should state that the weather changes from season to season. Point out the class weather calendar begun in Activity 1 and note the month in which you started tracking the weather. Have students recall what the weather was like at that time. Ask students, what is the weather like now? Is it the same kind of weather as when we started, or has it changed? The weather may be the same or noticeably different from the beginning of the calendar. Accept all reasonable answers. Have students think about how weather changes day to day compared with how weather changes season to season. Students should conclude that seasonal weather changes are usually much greater than daily weather changes. Next, point out that seasonal weather is different in different places. Winter may be snowy and very cold in some places, but just rainy and cool in other places. On the posted laminated wall map of the United States, show students the locations of places likely to have very cold winters or very hot summers. Invite students to play a game about the weather in the seasons where you live. Have one student silently act out something that shows the weather in a season. Others will try to guess which season that student is acting out. For example, a student could fan her face to show she is very hot in summer, or shiver to show she is very cold in winter. Then, point out the chart you made. Ask a student volunteer what his or her favorite season is. Then, let the student choose a marker and make a dot or small X in the square for that season. Let each student have a turn marking the chart. When the chart is complete, discuss the results and determine which is the favorite season. Ask students, did you have to count or could you tell by looking at the chart? Guide students to understand that having the marks in a chart made it easy to see which season was the most favorite, even without counting. Explain that charts and graphs organize the information we collect. When it is organized, it is easier to see patterns. Have students think about patterns in the seasons themselves, and then point out the arrows on the chart and ask, what about the seasons themselves? Do they have a pattern? Lead students to recognize that the seasons form a pattern from year to year. The exact weather in each season might be different from one year to the next, but the seasons will always follow each other in the same order. Distribute 2 copies of Activity Sheet 7 to each student. Distribute a box of crayons or colored pencils to each team of 2. Instruct students to write the name of a season to complete the sentence above each box. They will write 2 seasons on each sheet. For each box provided on the activity sheet, have students draw a picture showing what the weather is like in that season where you live. Finally, tell students that in Activity 8, Living Things and Seasons, they will find out about how plants and animals may change when the seasons change. To conclude the activity, leave the My Favorite Season chart posted for reinforcement during Activity 8. For science background, reinforcement activities, curriculum connections, and information about the Delta Science Reader, please consult your DSM Teacher's Guide.